our contributions in education will be our legacy in this industry.
Whether it's through live education or maybe through social media, we're always trying to make a personal connection with you, the learner.
At Samvia, we believe our smile is our business card and our personality is our logo. And how we make people feel after you experience our education and tools is our trademark.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us, my friends, and be a part of the Samvia community. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. It is Sammy and it's Mannequin Monday. I'm excited about today because we got a great dear friend, colleague, a person that I admire. You're absolutely going to love him, and that's George Jaoa. But first of all, before I bring out George, let's bring on Kurt, our man behind the scenes, our Wizard of Oz today.
Hey, Sam, I can tell you how busy you are. It's actually Transformation Tuesday today. Monday has come and gone, my brother.
Yeah, Kurt, thank you for clarifying that. Oh, my God. Sunday, Monday, yes, it was nonstop all day long. But listen, thank you for correcting me, buddy. It's Transformation Tuesday with George. How are you today, buddy? How was your weekend?
Great, my friend. I'm looking forward to today's class, looking forward to watching George do his thing. I'm just really excited by having George on the show today. So let's let this guy rock with us.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree, brother. And thank you for what you do behind the scenes. Everybody give Kurt a big H for hi. Just say hi to Kurt. Put some H in those chat box. Use your chat box today, guys. Thank you, Mr. G. I'll be talking to you later. Thank you for what you do behind the scenes. All right, guys, listen, we got India, Pakistan, Japan, Mexico, New Jersey. I saw Texas is on board. Just type in the chat box where you're from. And thank you guys so much for being here. Missy, thank you so much for the comment in regards to the BTC show. We loved it. Had a great time doing that. Even though it was 12 minutes, man, the 12 minutes went fast. And as long as you got something out of there. So let's see. We got people all the way from Pakistan is on. Welcome. India is on board. And let's see who else do we have here? Michigan. Welcome, Michigan. But let me tell you a little bit about today. I'm so excited today because I've got a special friend, and as I said, a colleague, a dear colleague that I absolutely love as a brother. We go way back. I met this guy when he was actually supporting me in a class that I was doing at the Toronto Exchange for Redken. His name is George Jaoa. I want you to remember that name. You'll see his handle come up here. Kurt will put that up. But there's a couple words that come to mind when I think of George. It's motivating, enthusiastic, and brilliant. Those are a few words that come to mind when I think of this guy, George Jaoa. Now, George is from Canada. Oh, Canada. I feel like I'm part of Canada. I love Canada. He's the co-owner of Koi Hair Studio, which is just outside of Toronto. Very popular salon. Now, this guy has appeared on stages throughout North America and on the international market as well. He's a Redken artist, a global Redken artist for Redken. This guy's been published in fashion magazines. He's been published in all the trade magazines. He's also been on the Good Morning television show for Canada. He does makeovers. He's done makeovers, so he's got that television experience. But mainly, his expertise and what he does is with hair, obviously. But this guy works backstage. He leads teams backstage for Fashion Week. And he's done New York, he's done Europe, he's done Canada. Now, his energy matches his positive attitude. That's what I really love about George. And I'm proud to be a Redken artist with this man. He's a Contessa winner, which is the NAHA for Canada. And George has proved that through focus and inspiration, you can achieve any end result. And this guy has demonstrated that on an international level. Please do me a favor. Just type a big yay, Y-A-Y, in there for George Jaoa, and welcome, George.
Thank you so much for that.
How are you, brother?
I'm doing great. Super excited to be here. Thank you very much, Sam.
Well, we're excited to have you because today it's going to be all about maximizing some dry cutting techniques. You talked a little bit about yesterday where you're going to take this, but one of the things is I think, one of the things you said was texturizing with purpose and understanding the concept of dry cutting, the what, how, why, and when behind dry cutting. And then I love what you're going to do. You're going to just make this transformation and taking something so simple, but just really transforming it into something else. Hey, Charles Dudley, glad to see you on here, Charles. Hey, listen, buddy, I got to get to the salon, buddy. We got to make that happen when all this is done. Hey, Janet Beth Daigle, JB is on. Hey, what's up, JB? How you doing, love? But George, work your magic, buddy. Have some fun. We'll take care of the questions for you. And thank you, my friend, for being with us. Off you go, George. Have fun.
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you, Sammy. So like we were talking about, it's a new time. We have a new day. The industry has changed. So we're talking about how do we modify to the industry, okay? And it's all about time. How are we managing time? Obviously, we have restrictions, some different in different places, but we all have some sort of restrictions. So timing is crucial. And what we want to talk about today is how we can maximize our cutting behind the chair, but still getting that end result that we are looking for. So today we are going to talk about dry cutting, not only with straight hair, but also working with their natural texture. Now, for example, today we're going to go from here and we're going to take her to here very quickly, very easily. And we're still going to be using principles, but at the end of the day, we're going to start adding a little bit more visual and being a little bit more creative as we're using those principles. So I want to jump right into this and start getting into that. So just to show you real quick, this is how our client could possibly have walked in. Let's just say, she's been at home, she hasn't worked for a while, her bob has grown out. This is something that we probably see naturally and on the norm behind the chair. We are going to take her to this lovely shape. A little bit of a 90s grunge feel. We're going to have some fun. Obviously, we styled her in a fun way. Does it have to be styled like this? Not at all. This can work straight, wavy, or just a little bit more softer at the same time. So I'm just going to put this away for now. All right, perfect. So again, that went into this. So let's jump right into it. Now, why would we ask our clients to come in with their hair dry or the way that they style it? Can anyone tell me, why do you think that we would ask that? What would be the benefit of that? Anyone out there? Time. Great answer. I love that. Time is a great answer. So obviously we're kind of skipping that step of wet to dry. We're washing, bringing them back, setting them up, and then start cutting, blow drying, styling, and then we start to finish. So we're kind of eliminating that and getting it right to the point. So in this case, our client, we asked her to come in how she loves her hair styled. She likes to straighten it. So we asked her, come in, straighten your hair, come in with your hair straightened, and we'll start from there. And if it's not up to par, don't worry, I'll tweak it and touch it up. Now, the products that we use to prep on our beautiful client here is our One United and our Satinwear 04. And we layer them on top of each other. Then we literally paddle dry that out, give it a wrap dry, and we use our sleeker to smooth it out, okay? First step, if you're ready with me, give me some thumbs up. If you're ready to rock and do this, give me some thumbs up, just like this. All right, love it. First things first, I'm gonna find the high point of the head. I will be cutting this, elevating to the shape of the head. I still want this to be customized and formed to this client. So first thing I'm gonna do is high point. Once I figure that out, I am just going to, let me grab some of my clips. All right. Once I found that high point, I'm literally just going to section that off right behind the ear. Just take that section down, literally right behind the ear. I'm going to use my clips here. I love these clips because they're great for dry hair. The rubber helps prevent some demarcation, so they're awesome to use when you're working with dry hair. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm here, high point of the head, and I'm just going to bring it to exactly behind the ear. So here we go. One more time. And away we go. And I'm going to isolate that back area. Boom. Now, the key component to this front area is the fringe. Now, if you want to refresh a fringe, if she comes in with it, I'm kind of crazy, you can refresh it. It's not about a certain fringe. Any type of fringe works for this. If it's straight, if it's more of a curtain feel, it'll all work. Okay, so don't be so concerned on what type of fringe you're using. Once she has the fringe in, this is going to be our master guide for our shape. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take, if I'm facing you, it's going to be a vertical section, but to me, it's a horizontal section. So to me, it's horizontal, but when you're seeing it vertically. It's literally a section right down the middle. Okay, I'm going to grab another clip. Control. The big thing when working with dry hair, you want to have control. You don't want the hair falling all over the place. You want to make sure you have some control. Some of the products I like to do is use a little bit of Fashion Works 12 throughout, just to give it a little bit of tack so I have a little bit more control, but enough that my hands can still slide and cut. So once I have that center section, I'm going to show you how we're going to cut this. Again, we're talking about using the shape of the head. So the shape of the head starts to round off forward in this front area here at the top. So I'm going to elevate with the shape of the head, and that looks like it's going to be a diagonal. My guide is going to come from the back of the fringe. That last piece from the fringe is going to be my guide, and I'm just going to continue. I'm going to just put a clip on that. If you notice, if I elevate this, okay, you see it's a diagonal angle. I'm going to continue that diagonal line going up towards the ceiling. Okay? If you're with me, give me some thumbs up. I'm working with the fine side of my comb because I have a lot more control. Ready? Elevate, shape of the head. Okay, that's what the elevation looks like. If you're with me, you got it. I'm going to grab my shear and start from good. The one hot tip that I like to do when I'm working with the shape of the head is I like to actually touch the head and elevate straight out. Like that, I'm not really guessing. Touch the head, elevate straight out, and I'm not really guessing. So I'm just going to get rid of that bulk, just like so. Now, I'm going to go in with my 3-finger grip. 3-finger grip. This gives me a little bit more control, but at the same time, I'm going to kind of tighten up my hand, and you notice that it fans out a little bit. And now I'm just going to cut into it. Okay, so the hair strand and my scissor are vertical, one towards the other, as I'm going in, keeping it nice and soft. If I want to be a little bit more aggressive, my vertical, I can take it a little bit more diagonal with my shear, and I will start to be a little bit more aggressive. Okay? Once I feel like that center section is cut, I'm going to just clip it away. So this is what it looks like from the front right there. Okay? Now I'm just going to continue and taking another horizontal, again, horizontal from my angle, vertical from yours. And I'm now going to elevate again using the shape of the head. The first one we came up straight out. As we move down the side of the head, we're going to start elevating diagonally. Now, not only is the scissor line going diagonal, our elevation now is going to be going diagonal. Okay? Diagonal to the side, but also a diagonal scissor line. So here we go. Now I'm going to take you this way. You can see where that is. One more time. Using again the fringe as my guide. Here we are. There's the fringe. And I'm going to cut the bulk off. Once I've cut, 3-finger, I'm going to go back in here, and I'm just going to break that line up. Now here's the thing. George, where are you getting your guide like from the back? Great question. How many of us would have took a slice from the previous section to bring into it so you have a guide, not only where to start, but what to follow along your snip line? Here's the thing. I'm not worried about that. I want this to be a little bit more organic. I want my perimeters to be just off by a little bit. This is going to give me a bit of movement and just more of an organic feel. If you're with me, say, I'm with you. All right. So here's the thing, guys. A lot of the time, we get so caught up in being technically balanced. Technically balanced. Now, when we say technically, obviously, we always want to be technically on point. That's a given. But here's the thing. Sometimes we get so caught up in it that we end up being unbalanced. Okay? How many of us do haircuts? We're trying to get those measurements perfect, and we spend our half time doing this. we're doing that. Oh, wait a minute. Right? And then half the time, if we're not doing it, who's doing it? The client, right? You finish something and she's doing this now. Well, they're not the same. Well, here's the thing, guys. The head shape is not the same. One ear is higher than the other. One eye is higher than the other. Things happen on the head. So as much as you still want to keep that technical aspect in the back of your mind, focus on being visually balanced. See what the client is seeing, okay? So as long as what I see is balancing what's working, I'm going to run with it. Because if it's working with what I see and she sees it, odds are she may be able to replicate it. So again, I'm going to continue. Now, once I start, sorry I have my back to you guys, I'm just running around here. Once I start getting to that parietal ridge area, I'm going to now, again, horizontal. Now my elevation, I'm over-directing, is now I went from diagonal to completely horizontal, okay? Now what's great about this is I'm horizontal, there's my guide on top that you can see, okay? And I'm going to just cut with a shallow point cut. Again, there we are, shallow point cut. Now this is what I'm gonna do here. Hold, and I'm just gonna cut into it just like so. Okay, and there we are. Now I'm gonna take the next horizontal, just like so. Okay, whatever drops, drops, don't be so concerned. Okay, and there's my guide on top. If you're with me, stay with me. Okay, and release. Now I'm going to take my last one, horizontal, just stick to the program, completely horizontal, and shallow point cut and release. Now, if I want to just now bring it back in and go in and just point cut with it, just to break that line up a little bit more. Now, here's the thing, guys, about dry cutting, there's the one thing that's a little bit tricky. You know, that could be in a very good way. Now, the thing about dry cutting, the reaction is instantaneous. So good or bad, the client's going to see it. So you want to make sure when you're doing it, you're doing it with intent and you know exactly what you're doing and how you're doing it. Because once you cut dry and you release it, bam, it's in there. So that point cut and how to diffuse and how to really soften out that line you just cut helps and makes a big difference. So I just want you to see what we created there. Just in those scissors, just with those quick cuts, okay? So key components, what's helping us here? The elevation diagonal helped us keep it nice and soft on top. I got some. I got a question here. Rosie, what do you do on this curly hair different method? Yes, I would do, yes, I would definitely do a different method. What I would do, great question, Rosie. In that case, with curly hair, I wouldn't remove it so much or stretch it out so much from where it lives. I would almost do these techniques, but with my fingers, with a very loose rake. Like I wouldn't really expand on that tension because I might be disappointed in the shape that I want. It's almost like you're carving that shape. So I would still do the same elevations, but I would just do it with minimal tension, if that helps. Great question. Thank you very much. So you can see where we are. Okay, ready to go. Now I'm going to go over to the other side. Okay, no rocking signs. So we're doing the same thing. Starting in the middle, well, just off the middle because we already did. The middle, there we are. Again, shape of the head. Touch the head, elevate, diagonal. There we are. Bringing up the meat. Get rid of it. Don't overwhelm yourself because sometimes that can be overwhelming. Now get back into it and just really soften out that line. And if you really feel like you really want it in there, you can just squeeze your fist, so, and you can see how that just opens up and turns into a fan. And here's the thing, guys. When we're working with natural texture, you know, it really becomes a creative process. And you really have the opportunity to customize and look. There's a difference between going through the steps of a haircut when it's wet, boom, 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 and then detailing at the end. But when you're doing it dry, start to finish with the texture that that client wears, this is organically happening. Yes, you're doing your principles. But at the same time, you're like, wait, let's take a little bit more off here. You're creating, you're using your eyes, you're using your taste at the same time. Step back, take a look, what's working, what's not. Sometimes we're so close and so caught up in that wet cut in what we normally do, step 1, 2, 3, and 4, that by the time we get to the end, you're kind of like, spending another 20 minutes texturizing, balancing, and trying to get to that end result that you both wanted, you and your client. So again, the dry cut gives you that opportunity to create instantly, but at the same time, really mold and customize. And when I say the word customize, say those words with your client. That's what they want to hear. Remember, guys, it's been a tough time for everybody right now. And they want to hear these things. They want to hear positivity. They want to hear that you're, doing something special for them. So I don't know about you, but when someone hears, I'm going to customize this haircut for you. I really want this to work out for you. I really want you to be able to replicate this haircut when you're at home. Another great question. We got Robin. What about someone that has thick hair and doesn't want it to stick out? Great question. The thing that I would change would probably be my lengths with thick hair. So if I went into, maybe if she still had the fringe, maybe from going diagonal this way, like this, maybe I would go from diagonal, I would take it all the way to vertical. So now I'm keeping a lot more length. And if, for example, let me just clip this away because I just cut it. For example, when we did the sides this way, vertical, I'm going to cut a lot more hair off. But if I go diagonal, fingers in, I'm going to keep a little more length on the bottom. Like that, it's going to still give me the technique, but at the same time, I'm going to have a little more length to help control the weight. Hopefully that helps. Thank you for the question. Great one. All right. So again, going down horizontal, taking my next section. I'm going to do it on this angle if you guys are okay. There's my guide. See it? Okay. That one cut blunt. I don't want blunt. So I'm going to go there and break it up. Okay. Perfecto. Now you can see again, I'm going to take another horizontal. Bam. Okay. And I'm using the fine side of the comb. Control. I know a lot of us get in the habit of using that wide side, getting in there quick. But fine. You want to, again, slow down to speed up. Control. Do it once right the first time instead of going out and just guessing it. I know we are all tight for time, that working faster doesn't mean a better result. It's just working smarter. Like my speed is still at a normal pace, but we just chose a technique that helps us to get to an end result a lot quicker, if that makes sense. All right, so I got my last one. And there we go. So again, horizontal. Now my finger angle is vertical. Do that one more time. See, I may gather with my wide side, but I want to cut and create that tension. Why do you think I'd want super amount of tension, especially on the dry cut? Can anyone tell me why I would want a lot of tension, especially on the dry cut? Anyone kind of throw a guess out there? Come on. I know it's out there. I know you got it. Breaks. Oh, we got it. Do you all got a question here? Great. Do you always point cut this particular haircut, or are they far different ways to do it? 100%. 100%. To be honest, most of the haircuts that I like to do, there's always a different way of doing it. I've done this haircut with the razor. I've done this haircut with the Invisablends, and just really did the same thing, and to add that extra little bit of texture. Again, razor, and yeah, those are my three. I've done it with scissor, razor, and with a texturizer thinning shear. So there's many ways to apply this haircut. What tool you want to use at least. Awesome, thank you for that. What kind of scissors are you using? Excellent. So I am using the Sandia Artist Series shear, which is one of my favorites. This bad boy is it's very sleek. That's what I love about it. It fits in my hand. It does the result. It's good for wet and dry. I just like to move quick. That's why I love to use this one. It's kind of my go-to shear for everything. And I'm using the Sandia comb. What I love about this guy is that you got the wide tooth on one side and you got the fine. So I got the option of using both. But great combination. This is very sleek and very easy to work with. Awesome, great question. Thank you, guys. All right, so I just want to show you real quick. We did the complete front, and look what our bad boy looks like already. Go this way. Woo-hoo-hoo. So obviously now you're going to get a look of what the straight version looks like. So again, guys, that was only a few snips, and would you say she's got an ultimate change already? There's a big change happening already. She's already went from movement going from short to long in the front where it's heavy, especially if you haven't been in the salon for a while with what's happening, you might feel a little bit just drained out, like it's just covering, it's just weighted. You feel like just that. And this is we're going to open you up. We're going to refresh you and we're going to start you over again. So we're taking that line going from here, and now we're going to here. Opening her up, making her feel confident, making her feel beautiful, and giving her that change quickly and efficiently. So that's it. The front's done. How quick was that? Easy, right? Let's go on to the back. To the back, to the back. All right. But before we do anything, now that the front is complete, we're just going to isolate the front so we don't have to deal with it. Okay, so all I did, as you can see, is isolated the front. And again, using the dry clips, especially with dry hair, it'll make a big, big difference. And now on this side, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Now we are in the back. You know, I got a lot of questions like, well, where'd you come up with this? Or, you know, what, especially nowadays, what are trends? What's happening? Can you guys agree that, you know, what's on trend? You know, things are all happening. Fashion weeks things are all up in the air. We're not sure what's going on. And award shows, like things that music, things that we get inspiration from. Everything's kind of been a little bit, you know, up in the air, and it's been changing, and we're not sure. And some of these things are sources that we rely on, and it's not there. So everyone's like, just okay, let's just go back to doing what we were doing. But we don't want to go there, and that's not what we want to be. So we got to think about fashion is really about your environment and who you are and what's happening now. Like if it was like, again, dance, if it was music, if it was going out, if what you're doing at that time in your life, that's what's kind of pushed you to give yourself that identity. Now, right now, what's going on? Like, obviously, we want to go out. We want to do things. People want to still feel like people. But we do have this going on, right? So it's not as easy as we want to. So when you think of a trend right now, if you think about, okay, I want to go out, but I'm kind of limited in where I want to go, but I still want to do something. I just want to be able to get out of the house, have fun, and do something and feel good about myself. So by me thinking that, you still got people that want to look good, but they want something quick and easy that they can create and just get that, maybe walk in the park, go sit on a patio, go for a bike ride. So things are evolving into like a simplicity type of environment. Fun, fashionable, and easy, which at the same time kind of coordinates with what we are doing behind the salon. Fun, easy, and fashionable. And that's what we want to talk about here. So I believe this environment, COVID, has created a trend for us. And people are now styling hair according to, okay, well, I'm not going to be out long, or I'm at home. I want something that I can do at home. I want something that I can just hang out at home with. Oh, I just go to a backyard party, or I just do, we're just going on a picnic, something small, but I still want to look good. So easy, effective things. So again, key components, working with the shape of the head, understanding your fundamentals, understanding how to texturize with purpose to give that client the opportunity to recreate what you gave her in the salon. So we're going to jump right back into here, into this beautiful haircut that we're doing. So what we did in the back, all we did was split it down the middle. So it left us with 2 quadrants, okay? We have 1 and 2, okay, left and right. Now we want to find corner back. Ultimately, I want to have 4 vertical sections, areas, bevels. Some people have their own way of approaching this. but it is a vertical section that determines a major change in direction where the hair lives, okay? So we're going to start on this side. So how do I find that change of direction, that corner back? I'm going to place my hand on the back, and I'm going to place my hand on the side. Once my fingers connect, I bring them down. Where I've touched, that is corner back. Okay, so I visually have a reference. And now I'm going with my comb, and I'm just going fine comb, and I'm going to separate that, and I'm going to isolate it. I'm working with vertical sections, team, so I'm going to clip vertically. Nice and controlled. Remember, dry hair, you don't want this jumping all over the place, and then you start feeling frustrated, and you're like, I don't want to do this. Because, yeah, wet hair gathers. You can control a little bit better. But once you get those little naps, those little things to help control, it'll make it a lot easier. Question. Do you put full tension on dry hair because you have less elasticity? That's a great question. That's a great question. Well, that can be a reason, but the reason why I put more, this is the reason why I put more. The more I stretch, the more I pull, I am taking hair away from where it lives at max. If my tension is light, I'm not stretching it out as much, so it's closer to how it lives, if that makes sense. So if I'm taking it away as far as I can with all that tension, and I snip a line, when I release my fingers, the rest of the hair is going to want to move and go back to the way where it lives, and it diffuses that snip line a little bit more. So you just kind of prevent seeing those snip lines, especially on the dry hair. So for me personally, either than curly textured hair, but medium to straight hair, I'm always focusing on that tension, because when I cut it and I release, it diffuses my line, my snip line, just a little bit more, just to give me a little bit more of a head start when I go into detail. I hope that helps. Thank you. Great question. So we are in the back. So we are on this quadrant here. As you can see, we have one vertical section, two vertical section. We got two bevels. Now, I know this hair lives in this area, and I know that this hair wants to live in this area. You with me? Say, I'm with you. Okay, you should have to type that right in. Boom, boom. So I'm going to start with the middle one right here. And this is how simple this is, guys. I'm releasing it. I'm going to take my guide from the top of the head that was used to get a guide from the front area. Okay? This is what gave us that whole shape throughout the front. Now I'm going to just elevate. I'm with you. Thank you. I love that. Now, can anyone remember what's the guide to our elevation throughout this haircut? Can anyone remember what's the guide for the elevation on this haircut? Starts with shape, ends with head. Shape of the head, yes! I heard that one all the way from here in Toronto. Excellent. All right, so the shape of the head here, we're in the crown area. You can see we are diagonal. So I'm elevating, it's gonna be diagonal because I'm mimicking the shape of the head. So once I'm here, again, touch the head, diagonal. I see my guide right here. You can see my guide from the beginning. And I'm going to just point cut, get rid of the meat. If I need to reset, I will. 3 finger gives me a little bit more control. Okay, 3 finger. Now I'm going to just fan it out. I know, Sammy, I know you're a big fan of this as well. And I'm just going to break up that line. Okay, that is complete. And I just want you to see, as soon as we drop that in, how it just melts right into that. It just literally, you can see how that, it's just right into that. Done. Okay. Now we're going to move on to our next, I'm just going to push this away, our next vertical area. I'm going to take the whole thing, fine side of the comb. Okay, there we go. I'm bringing it all up. Fine side. Whatever drops out, let it drop. It's all good. Fine side and is. Should make sure my angle's on point. Okay, I feel good about it. And I'm going to remove that length. Now I'm going to 3-finger right there. Okay. And release. All right, so we're almost done with the haircut. This is insane. So now we're going to just move over to the next quadrant. Okay. So now we're on the other quadrant on the other side. The angle 90, great question. What's the angle 90? That is if I'm going straight up or straight out. We are working on a 45, if that helps. So 90 if I'm elevating straight out or straight back would be considered 90. In this case, we are elevating diagonal on a 45. I hope that helps. Great question. Thank you for that. Great question. All right, here we go. Now we're on our last quadrant. Again, how to find that. Hand on the back of the head, hand on the side, fingers connect, boom. I got my parting, that's corner back, that separates. All right. Isolate one, and I'm going to jump into the next one. Okay, so here we are. You guys can see me now. Again, I'm going to elevate, bringing my guide from the middle that we cut from the beginning, up, okay, and diagonal. I'm using 3 fingers right now because I'm dealing with quite a bit of hair. So when we elevate, we are elevating diagonal on a 45. Great question. So when we're elevating. So for example, if I was elevating like here, like this, I'm elevating at a 90 because it's 90 degrees. If I'm elevating straight upwards, 90. But because I'm elevating in this scenario, because the round of the head, we are elevating diagonal, this is 45. And the reason why we chose to do 45 is because diagonal lines, when it falls, gives us more of a round and softer shape, if that helps. Thank you. Great questions, guys. Love them. All right. We're on our last one. All right, here we go. Last quadrant. Again, here. Brought my guide. Go. Last quadrant, I got the hair that I need. I'm on the fine side. Elevate. Okay, 45. Diagonal, I'm moving the bulk. And then 3-finger and fan that out. And that's it. Now I'm going to okay, give me 1 second. I got a great question here. Question. I'm assuming what school when. Great question. So the question was, when you're point cutting or notching, what determines the angle of the shear when it goes into the hair? That's a great, great question. So let me show you real quick. So if I'm, just say I'm elevating, okay, I'm here. It's all about how aggressive you want to cut hair. So if the hair's sticking out, straight out, and my shear is going parallel to the hair. So I'm going right parallel to the hair, okay? This is the safest. You're cutting probably the most minimal amount of hair, okay? So I'm going from, so let me get a straight up version so you're a little bit easier. So straight up, vertical, and my shear is vertical. So the hair is up vertical, and my shear is vertical. So this is going to soften my hair, but it's probably the safest and the least amount of hair that I'm cutting, okay? Now, once I get my shear and I slowly tilt it towards diagonal, and I do the same thing, now I'm slowly starting to cut a little more hair, okay? So I'm still slightly vertical, but with a diagonal feel, now I'm cutting a little more hair. If I push it to a little bit more diagonal, now I'm going in and I'm starting to cut, and it's going to look almost like a big point cut because I'm cutting diagonal lines into it. And as you see, the more I go, I'm getting into horizontal, which is the most aggressive, which I'll cut the whole thing off. That makes sense. So vertical to vertical, like when the grain and the shear lines up, you're at the safest spot. As you start going more diagonal, aggressive, 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 completely aggressive, horizontal cut. I hope that helped. Great, great, great question. All right, so I just want to show you real quick. We are finished with those snips. I'm going to pull it off here so she's dancing. I just want to show you. Okay, that was just that. Great question. I'll get that to you. Gina said, when should you cross-check? So just real quick. Now here's the thing. I don't know. Do you guys remember what I said earlier about if I'm off a bit? Remember, I was just using the fringe as my guide, but I wasn't using my previous section to make sure my lines were in point. Now, when you're doing this organic feel, sometimes cross-checking, if I went in here and cross-checking, there's a good chance that my lengths will be a little bit off. And if I'm caught in a habit, what I'm used to, I'm going to want to clean that up and line it up. But for this situation, I kind of want them to be off a little bit because of the natural organic feel and the dishevelment that she's going to get out of it. If you want to go really clean it up and go perfect, I would just, again, cross-check the opposite way that we went. If we were going vertical, I would cross-check horizontal, if you want to go that route. But in this case, I'm not worried about cross-checking. I know I'm where I want to be. I'm visually happy. I'm visually balanced when I look at her. She's doing what she needs to do. It's balanced around the face, so I'm content. I'm not going to be so concerned about cross-checking. Obviously, if you want to do it, you see one hair that's kind of a little bit crazy, you can go in there and take it out. But cross-checking in this scenario is more of like an organic feel, but you can always go in there and just go against the section pattern that you did. Hope that helped. How's that work, guys? Good? All right. So let me dive in a little bit deeper real quick. So now that we're here, would you agree that we're, what we finished we finished cutting hair, and we spent a lot of time sometimes texturizing. Yes. So I just wanted to show you a couple of quick things on some texturizing. And this is huge information. If you just walk away with this, you're going to have a huge win. Okay. So first things first, do we agree that the way we swipe hair and cut hair will promote the hair to move that way? So for example, so I got a question. My students love the cut and how you explained it. Thank you so much. No, thank you for being a part of it. And hopefully we can see you soon. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Love you guys. So I'm using my slide cutting shear. Now, if I was going from behind, okay, I'm cutting short to long, short to long, short to long. I'm promoting this piece to want to move forward. Okay. If I was standing in front, and I'm cutting this way, notching, sliding out, I'm going short to long, short to long. This piece is going to want to go back because these are the arrows that I'm pointing into the hair. Now, a lot of us get in the habit of when we're finishing our haircuts, you'll start on one end. Thank you, Chantal. You're the best. So I'll start, just say I start here on the one side and I'm going and notching. I'm going around, notching, and I'm moving around the head because this is what we do in the salon because we're rushed. We want to get up, we want to get out and do our thing. And I work around the head. This is something very common that I see hairdressers do. And you're notching and you're texturizing. And I also can be doing this with my Invisalign, or my thinning shear here, and doing the same thing, moving around the head. But here's the thing, team. Because on this side of the head, I would actually push backwards, okay? So here I'm cutting backwards, and when I get to this side, I'm cutting forwards. So I'll get to a quick question right now. Which shear are you using to texturize? Sammy's Invisibles. These guys are awesome. Love it. And I'm also using Sammy's slide cutters. Awesome, awesome. Great cut. I use these guys like every day. So yeah, you want to think of the motion. This is crucial, guys. So remember, this side I walk this way, cutting back, back, back. When I got to this side, I was cutting forward, forward, forward. Does that make sense? So you want to keep yourself in balance. Okay, if I want to go back, so I got to go back, 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 stop, come back to the front, and go back, 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 like that. I'm balanced. Texturizing with purpose. And one last little tip. If I really want to break apart, like I'm loving the shape right now. I'm loving that it's straight, something cool, something different. But if I felt like I still want to break it up some more, I always think of my rules of 3. Okay, I just want to give you this quick information. I think it's crucial. So I was like, where do I start and where do I even put texture? If you grab a strand, think about it in the rules of 3s. In the root area, zone 1, this is for expansion, volume. Zone 2 in the middle is for movement. And on the ends, it's for softness. So if I just need volume, I'm focusing in that root area. If I'm looking for movement, I'm focusing in that middle area. If I just want to soften up the shape, this is where I want to go. So by you understanding on where to apply that texture, it just gives you that power to really customize and do that texture with intent and really get that shape to come alive when the client does it at home. And that's what's important. How's that feel? If you guys are with me, give me some thumbs up on that. All right, all right. Love you guys. So this was the cut. I hope you guys liked it. Very, very easy. I'm just going to show you a few sections on how we set her. Okay. Obviously, we have fun. I wanted to go with more of a little bit of a 90s vibe, kind of disheveled. But again, with this set, you can keep it on the cleaner side, you can keep it on the messier side, or you can keep it more traditional. So it's all about taste when it comes to that. But I'm going to show you on how we apply that. Very simple. If you guys are having fun, give me some hearts right now. If you're having fun, give me some hearts. I miss seeing all your faces, guys. I miss it. All right, so I'm going to take another slide. Okay, take one more clip. All right, now key product that I love to set with is the Iron Shape 11. Great setting spray. Okay. And we already have some of it, but I'll just give it a bit of a miss. Just we'll get it in a second. All right. So we actually just sprayed some. I'll get some in a second, but here we go. So this is the trick to this. What we do is we're working vertically. For sure. So we had a question. Can I explain the position of my body when I'm cutting? So for one, with the camera, I'm always trying to change myself up so you guys can see it the best. But to me, I always position myself to where my hands are coming to my solar plexus. So if I'm here, if I'm on this right side, I'm going to be on her right side. I'm going to be standing on her right side, but facing her side. Okay, when I come to this side, to me, I'm going to stand again on the side, but to me, to pull away and cut would be a little bit more comfortable. So what I would do is move her the other way. And again, I'm in this position. So I'm always bringing the hair to this position. So if I got to change different sides of the head, I always find naturally I'm not going to cheat and risk putting myself in an off position by putting myself in an awkward position, getting an end result that I don't want. So what I like to do is just always try to get the client into this position. Whatever I'm doing, I'm in this position instead of being over and under, which sometimes we do when we're trying to get a better shot for the camera. And for example, when we did the back bevels, these two, I brought, again, when we did the back bevels, the two on the outside, the two vertical sections, again, I was on the opposite side and I brought it towards here, inwards. I'm always going inwards. When I did the back two, I went to the other side. Okay, so again, I'm working, bringing it to my inwards. So I'm always thinking of bringing it to myself. In this case, I've always just really stood on each side of the head. That my main motion was bringing my hands that are coming to my solar plexus. Okay, I hope that helped. Just to make you feel comfortable. The more comfortable you are, the more consistent you're going to stay. Cool. Thanks, guys. All right. So I'm just going to show you real quick what we did. Again, the iron shape, I'm just going to give it a mist. And I'm just going to show you a few sections, guys, just so you get an idea. I know, wish we can spend all day together, but unfortunately, it is what it is. So I'm working with vertical sections. The reason why is because I really want this to get the movement and texture, but I don't want it to pop out this way. I want it to get that vertical feel, and then I can bring it up with my hands. So it's just not so puffy. I want to control the puffiness. So I'm going in there, the Sam's iron here, the 1 inch, and I got the blade on it, and I'm just going to go and grab, and I'm wrapping. Comb to protect. Once I get a wrap, all I do is just slide, okay? And that's it. That's a short piece. Obviously, the effect is a little bit different. Now, I roll this one away from the face, okay? This next one is going to go towards the face. So I'm going this way, okay, vertical, towards the face. Now, here's the thing. Boom, I stop. At the root, I want to get that ribbon effect because the ribbon effect is going to give me the pop and the volume. But on the ends, I don't want that, ribbon effect because it's kind of like a little bit of a done curl. It's red carpet. We're looking for something a little more organic. Now, again, I'm moving on to my next section. Okay, so that one went towards the face. Now we're going again back away. 1 turn. Okay, ribbon. Got a ribbon. Now the end's still there. And I'm going to slide out. Okay, so now I can see how this becomes more of a straight feel. This is where you get the organicness out of it. Okay, so here, again, that was away. Now I'm going to go here towards. And you can see how fast this is. Right, I'm just putting it in, letting it sit, and pull. So you can see like what's happening right now. You're getting a lot of volume and movement, but the ends have a little bit more of texture, a little bit more of a straight feel. So combining the two, it's almost like that. It's beautiful, but it's still kind of got a bit of an edge, as if she went out the night before, which is kind of the big thing right now. So then again, I'm working on my diagonals. Okay. I'll just start with the back here. I just want to guys show you how this is done. So now I like to really have fun with this. Let's just say this was my first one. My first one I did away from the face at the bottom. So on the next one, I'm going to go towards the face. Now this is just going to help me give me more of that disheveled feel. How many of you have put in a set, the ones that we're traditionally used to, and then you think, I'm just going to spray a bunch of hairspray and shake it up with my hands. And then we'll get that funky feel, right? That beachy feel. But in reality, team, it's all about the DNA. If it's not put in from the beginning, you're not going to really get the end result that you're looking for in the curl. Okay? So that's all we did. Ribbon, first wrap is a ribbon. You stretch it out. First wrap is ribbon. Next one, towards the face. Ribbon. Pretty simple, right? And it's really, really quick because you're just literally wrapping that first lap. The hair's really long. You might get 2. But the back half, you just want to slide it out. So it just gives you that beachy movement. Now I'm just going to show you how we finish this. Real quick. We went in with our Fashion Wave 07. Love this to get that real great feel and textured hair. And we're just going to apply. Then from there, I'm just going to quickly use a wide tooth comb. You can see just to break that up a bit. And last, my go-to product, Fashion Works 12. It's going to give me, just that bit of, I'm going to add this one in here too, because it looks like it wants to be part of the party. Okay, we'll invite you. Okay, there you go, sweetie. All right, perfect. And then from here, this is where you can kind of just start modifying and doing your own thing. You can see how I'll give you that little rock and roll feel. You got curl, but it's not perfect. The shovel, again, this is where you can kind of break it up a little bit more, touch it, but the DNA is in the curl. You can see how that is. The DNA is in the curl where you got that, again, they're at the salon. They still want to look like they got their hair done. So it looks like they got that. Then at the same time, you still got that bit of edge. And that's where our end result happened here. This is where we had a little bit more fun at the salon yesterday, really giving her that 90s feel, and I really feel that things are going where things are going. So again, 90s inspiration. There's a lot of inspiration. Think of What's happening? How do you inspire our clients today in the surroundings that we are living in right now? So again, simplicity, adapting to their lifestyle, making them feel good. Change. Sometimes a subtle change is a huge change. So keeping that in mind. And again, texturizing with intent. That's huge. Remember, every time your scissor touches that hair, you put an arrow into it, and it's going to move in that direction. Now, is it in the direction that you want it to move in? It's all on you. So I personally want to thank all of you. I hope you had some fun. Hey, Sammy. Yeah, so, you know, if you have any questions or anything like that, you know, I know they're putting on my social feed. I got other videos up there, other information. But you just want to throw out questions, comments about today, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If something you're still not clear about, please reach out to me, and I'd love to clear that up for you and inspire you in any way that you can, because you guys there are a big inspiration for myself. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
George, everybody put your hands together, throw some thumbs ups, throw some hearts at him, throw a big H, capital H, meaning that shows some love, throw a big capital L. George, I got to tell you, man, your explanation is, you know, there's this thing, simplicity is today's brilliance. And the way that you explain things, you should have seen the chat bar. It was just exploding with the how people said, "Oh, this is so awesome." So look at that. Thank you again from Ann Margaret. Ann Margaret is from a school, from the John Amico School. Look at these comments that you were getting on here, brother. But there was a couple questions I want to ask you, George. If the hair is longer, would you take that same pattern and extend the length? What would you do if the hair was longer? How could it work with longer?
Well, great question. If it was longer, maybe it all depends on the client first. Is she looking for just lots of layers, or is she going for that mullety feel? If she's the type that wants to be more of
that long hair mannequin. Yeah, there. I saw that one behind you. I think people were seeing that. Is that a cut approach to somewhat the same way, or a little different?
Yeah, the same idea. The only difference I would do is the guide for the layers from the front was from that quarter piece of the fringe.
Got it.
For the short version. So all it would be is create more of a disconnection. Maybe she wants to keep more of that length, and I'd start that same technique, but from the chin. So I would just start that same technique, and you can do everything. And then I've had it where, let's say, picture this was my shortest piece, the chin. And then from here, the top part, I use the fringe. But now if I wanted to use that piece instead, I can use that. Or like I said, the fringe, but then my finger angle would change in my elevation.
Excellent. Now, then another question that we had that I wanted you to hit was from Jaoa, from our community, and she said, if you could explain the difference between softness and movement, how would you explain that, George?
Okay, perfect. Softness is what you're seeing. So, for example, to create something, so obviously you can say, "Oh, that moves very soft." But when we think of a soft, it's in our world, I'd like to say it's like what do you see in the perimeter? Is it a hard line? Is it a soft line? Is it a textured line? When I think of soft, I think of it's you still see a perimeter, but it's slightly transparent.
Oh, I love that. Slightly transparent.
Yeah,
George, also, what have you been busy in Canada? You've been doing any classes? If someone wanted to take a class from you, how could they go about it?
Right now, they can go to our country manager. I'll have that all on my Instagram page.
Okay,
but,
great.
We're setting up webinars like this and classes online like this all the time. So it's just look out. They are coming. We've just set up a meeting and launching a bunch of dates in the next couple of weeks. So
awesome.
I would say just pay attention to our social feeds and you'll see the dates.
Okay. Well, listen, buddy, we had on Russia, Mexico, Pakistan, India, Holland, and the UK, just to name a few. Aside from North America, a huge North America audience watching you today. I can't thank you enough, George, for what you do. You continue to amaze me in terms of the simplicity, and how you break things down, how you make it so simple to follow you. And then again, you know, the talent that you have. So guys, I want to make sure you follow him. Take a look at here at George_Jaoa. That's Joao. All right. Don't miss out this guy. Also, once in a while, when we get back to traveling again, hopefully we'll be able to keep an eye on Redken.com, because there's times when George occasionally will show up at the Redken Exchange and be doing a class. George, I give you a huge virtual hug, my dear. I love you, man. Can't thank you enough for what you're doing. I want you to give the entire team at Koi, you make sure you give them a hug for me. And we'd love to have you on again. As a matter of fact, I'd love to have you as a guest on Show Must Go On a weekend. We're doing this Show Must Go On. I'd love to see you as a guest on that. Would you be up for that?
100%. You got me, brother.
All right, man. All right, brother. Have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. Keep in touch, brother. Thanks again.
Thank you.
That was incredible, guys. I mean, well, here we are, another Transformation Tuesday, and I could see that you guys love this. A lot of you. Thank you, Annie. Yeah, I thought it was great. One of the big takeaways for me was when George said that dry cutting is almost instantaneous in terms of what you see, that visual edge that you see. That's why you dry cut. It's a exercise for the hairdresser so that you could see the visual end result instantaneously, as George said. All right, couple of things now. Kurt, come on back, buddy. There's Kurt.
Hey,
thanks,
hello, everyone.
All right, Kurt, couple of things now. I want you to talk to me about what's happening with our school partners. We got something coming up in September, buddy. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, we're really excited by this. And you haven't seen the public noise on this yet, but we are starting to talk about it here on our shows. Yeah, for those, Amika was with us today. So was Ogle from San Antonio was with us today. As our school partners will now start receiving directly from Sam and Andrew himself. Every month, there'll be what we're calling Skills Up student training. It's going to be actual live education from Sam and Andrew directly to our school partner students. And we're certainly encouraging all those schools that aren't school partners yet to possibly come in and join the class to see what we have to offer the schools and the students around the country. Sam, just talk a little bit about how important this is for you. I know I think the rainbows are the future is how you like to communicate that. Why don't you just quickly give a thought about what we're up to here?
Well, I think what's important is that it's our partnership and relationship that we have with the schools, and we're a big education brand. So I really believe that the students are the rainbows of the future, as Kurt was saying. So we are really reaching out to schools and supporting schools through our education, not only with our tools. So please make sure you check that out. Kurt is going to be bringing up some banners also. We've got coming up Wellness Wednesday, and that's coming up with August the 26th with Andrew, and he's going to have some special guests here, and that's going to be with Matt Martinelli, with Jen and Matt Martinelli, Taking the Leap. I don't want you to miss that one. That's going to be Taking the Leap, and it's Wellness Wednesday with Andrew, and that's coming up Wednesday the 26th tomorrow. The show must go on. We have another one coming up. Kurt's got that up right there, August the 30th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my friends. We've got myself, Andrew, Jesse's taking the time off. We've got some Anna Peters with us, and then we have a very, very special guest. She's been a busy lady, and that's Tippy Shorter, the Global Artistic Ambassador for Mazzani, will be on board with us on August the 30th. And then it's back to Mannequin Monday, August the 31st, which I'm excited about. I'm going to be talking about the techniques, those easy, simple, people call it, Sam, you cheat. No, I don't cheat. Simplicity, today's value, today's brilliance. So I'm going to show you some really simple ways to create braids, knots, and twists. And that's Mannequin Monday on, what was that, Kurt? I
think we're like the 31st, the end of the month.
Yep, the end of the month.
The last of our August lineup.
Yep. And then don't forget go to our home webpage and check out our promotions for August. We got some great promotions. And then that's on www.samvia.com. And follow us on Instagram, Sam Via Hair. And then follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. A lot of you continually ask, how can you get more education from us? So I want you to know you need to be subscribed to our YouTube channel, and then hit the little button when we've got something that we're posting. It'll let you be aware of what we're posting on YouTube channel. Kurt, thank you so much, my friend, for being that Wizard of Oz backstage. I know Sonia missed Andrew. Sonia, Andrew will be back at some point.
Sorry, Sonia. I had to do that to you today. Sammy, I'm going to bow out and let you close us out, my friend.
All right, guys. Thank you. All right, my friends, listen, at Sam Via, we're all about education. We're about you. We want to help you ergonomically with your body, your hands. We want to help you with the spirit of your mind. Our guru, Andrew Carruthers, comes in with that on Wellness Wednesdays. And then once again, the ergonomics, that's what the tools stand for, and education. Remember, my friends, an investment in education is an investment in your future. Thanks so much for watching Transformation Tuesday. Don't forget to check out Andrew Crothers tomorrow, Wednesday. And oh, by the way, I'm going to be a guest with Andrew September the 2nd, Wellness Wednesday. All right, my friends, enjoy your day. And most of all, respect yourself and respect each other. Thanks for watching.